Alright, kind of a response video to Mariana on Vloggerheads. Try to post a link below. Yeah, it's on this free speech stuff. This is probably a subject worth some sort of continuing discussion if it can be provoked somehow. Because it's really the ball game about how you make all this stuff work better, this human interaction thing. Because, I mean, this might not be the best analogy. I mean, it's not an arena, but it sort of is. I mean, everything in life is some sort of game. It's some sort of, as soon as you have an interaction of competing interests, it's a game, okay? And it just has to have rules of the game. How you can use your club, and how you can, what you're allowed to throw, and it has to have these rules. And the same thing goes for speech. I mean, obviously speech, in terms of our expression, should be pretty liberal. I mean, anybody should be able to be who they are. But as long as it doesn't trespass on somebody else's space. So it's really that Jefferson ideal of, your freedom ends where another man's freedom begins, our liberty. Seems to be very applicable to this kind of thing, substance, whatever. Alright, so there's two kinds of offensive. There's the offensive like, oh, he's just disgusting. I mean, he's just like looking at an aborted fetus or something. I mean, who wants to look at it? It's creepy looking. Regardless of what it means, regardless whether there's some sort of discussion to have about what it actually represents, it's just ugly. So, yeah, ugly content by some general definition, maybe it should be labeled. So, yeah, if somebody thinks I'm ugly, I can take that. They can put ugly video, mark it with little red lines or something, say, warning, maybe, upsetting to one's comfort, or whatever, fine. So, one problem can be solved by labeling content, just so people aren't, they don't click inadvertently and get shocked or abused. Their sensibilities aren't bludgeoned by something they didn't want to see because somebody fooled them into clicking a button. Then the other part of this argument is the weapons thing, the arena part, where people start trespassing into other people's personalities or personal life or personal thing, and then we just have to figure out what's not a valid weapon. In my opinion, it's okay to attack ideas. It's not okay to attack people. I don't think I do that. I don't think I attack people unless they, throw the first spear, so to speak. I definitely give people back what they give me. So yeah, they're going to call me a communist, I'm going to call them a motherfucker. Okay, yeah, okay, that's not complicated in my opinion. But if somebody's going to do something like oblige you to defend your life, preface an argument with an innuendo that requires some sort of burden somebody to defend themselves because their reputation or character has now been put in question. And if they do that without any evidence, where it's just a simple statement like, you are a communist, and now you're somehow obliged to explain why you're not a communist, that's kind of bullshit. And it becomes super bullshit when the innuendo gets more and more character damaging, when it's not just an ideological little simple word debate, but when you're obliging somebody to explain the position from which they exist, and explain, well, in the last 15 years I've worked this many jobs, and I've done this many things, and I've been this charitable, and I've been this, because somebody's accused you of somehow being corrupted or invalidated by some personal interest or some character flaw, and now you have to somehow defend your integrity. Now that's bullshit. It's a bullshit weapon. It's a spear that shouldn't be in the arena. It's a chainsaw or something. It just screws up the game. Because now the game isn't about competing ideas. The game is about who can assassinate the other guy's character. And I guess that's part of it. And probably a good way to put it is character assassination. That's to be avoided. I mean, you can assassinate somebody's ideology. You can't assassinate them. I mean, isn't that, I mean, to me that seems a reasonable way to describe it. And certainly we're probably still going to argue about what's an assassination, what's an unfair way to dispose of an idea, what rhetoric is acceptable. But there's patterns to all of this, and my argument still to this community is that you're not going to go point me to one of my videos, okay? Point to it and say, look, at this portion to this portion, what you did was totally unacceptable, okay? You crossed too many lines, or you crossed the line too far. I mean, I'll certainly accept that there's times when I definitely bang into lines, but I don't think I'm a habitual crosser of them. I fit into that other category of offensiveness, because I use words that just are automatically repulsive to people, this stupid 4-letter bullshit that people can't handle. Well, that's fine. They can't handle that shit. They're not going to be able to handle reality. Because reality is maggots and blood and guts, and it's brutal. So yeah, it's going to fuck up your sensibilities. And so if fucking words get in your way, you don't stand much of a chance of philosophically comprehending the real meaning of your fucking existence. Because it's a lot more disgusting than a 4-letter fucking word. So anyway, yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, your video is good, but I mean, it's sort of ambiguous, and I guess in defense of myself, like I said, I don't know why I blocked you. I don't know what you said. I don't know the circumstances of it. But yeah, whatever. It's I have a right to be offended. You have a right to be offended. We have a right to accept certain whatever interactions with people, but yeah, we all should have the freedom to voice our opinion, as long as we don't cross those really important lines. As long as we don't bring chainsaws to the arena, we should be allowed in the arena. So yeah, I mean, a white supremacist, let him speak all the crap he wants to speak. I mean, as long as he's not personally calling somebody a nigger or something, as long as he's not or some individual, yeah, why not? Let's argue the fuck out of him. I mean, let's beat him the hell up. Let's beat his ideas to death, because they're stupid ideas. But if it starts getting personal, like let's sabotage him as an individual, or let's get out our Photoshop and make a buffoon out of him. I mean, that's just bullshit. So, and that's where it turns here. I mean, you have to admit that I've had a lot of crazy asses on my ass, so to speak, all the time. I mean, and they don't fight fair. I haven't been attacked by argument. I've been attacked by Photoshop and bullshit and slanders and just every cheap maneuver possible. And it's bullshit. And so anyway, and so I'm disappointed that you feel inhibited to make a video response. But I guess, like I said, I'd like you to point to the previous video I have made, where you would say, oh, I wouldn't want to be the person you're responding to in that video, because you pulled out a chainsaw or you did something wrong, especially in the context of the process, in that go find the video where I made the unprovoked attack, okay, where I was the first one to take the chainsaw out. I mean, I've certainly, I wouldn't even say I have, but I mean, I've certainly used on-the-line weapons when somebody comes at me with one of those over-the-line weapons. But I mean, I've never gone on any mission to post anybody's name and address, or go to their house and say fuck you, or crank calls, or all the other fucking bullshit I put up with. So anyway, just didn't mean this to be a defense of me video, but I mean, part of it, these are the important issues, is what, because there really is no free speech if people are inhibited, and if you're feeling inhibited, well, that's no good. So there needs to be more conversation, because something has to be, either I'm not getting something or they're not getting something, but all our minds are not in the same place here. We're defining these terms differently, and we're defining the problem differently, and we got to fix that first, I guess. So anyway, enough said.